Welcome back to the Cycle Frontier. I haven't been streaming this game a lot lately, mostly just because I ran into some performance issues when I was trying to run OBS at the same time that I was playing the game, and the frame rate was getting kind of choppy, and it didn't look like it was going to be fun to watch me play. But I have been playing the game pretty consistently ever since my last episode. And one reason I just wanted to check in right now was because an experiment that I was running was I wanted to figure out if I could, with just spending time in the game, playing it consistently, if I could earn enough hard currency to unlock the season pass. Season passes are an interesting strategy for monetizing a game. It took me a long time to actually understand how they worked because because I don't play a lot of the games that usually rely on season passes, and this is actually I think the first game where I really thought of investing in this kind of monetization scheme. So the way that it works is they call theirs the Fortuna Pass. So the way it works is you basically earn experience as you play the game. Almost everything you do in the game earns you experience in some way or another. And you've got this little row of rewards here. So as you level up to level 48, 49, 50, 51, you unlock these rewards. Now, when I had not yet bought the season pass, you could see that some of these things were locked and some of them were open. Basically, certain rewards like these resource boxes, like this one and this one, some of the free weapons, like this one, basically anything that directly impacted your ability to excel in the game, those were available to everybody, whether they were paying or not. If you bought the season pass, you would get them, but also if you didn't buy the season pass and you just played the game, you would also get those rewards. But the more cosmetic rewards, like weapon skins, like this one, or I think XP bonuses, things like that where it's not really directly giving you stuff that helps you win the game, like this character skin right here, those were reserved for people who had bought the season pass. So everybody who's playing the game are all earning experience towards the same thing, but only the paying players are getting the more superficial cosmetic rewards, and only they end up with something that they can show off in the game, like this skin that I've recently unlocked. So, my big question as I was approaching the game was, can I, as a free player who is, I'm not spending like 12 hours a day playing this game. I'm just checking in, playing a few sessions every day. Could I, as a more casual player, earn enough of the hard currency called Aurum to unlock the season pass? And so I'm coming back to say yes, absolutely I could. I think that this... I don't know how long the seasons are when they first start, but I've still got a month left in the season, and I've already bought the season pass. And so I guess, since I'd raised that question in the earlier episodes, I wanted to come in and answer it. So as a result of getting that season pass, I've unlocked stuff like some weapon skins. I gotta say, it's not just if you've got the pass and each time you level up, you get the prizes. If you buy the pass at the very end, if you don't buy the pass at all and you just play the game and play the game and play the game until you earn enough cash to get the season pass, you retroactively get all of the stuff that you would have earned. So for instance, my Manticore weapon here, I've got a new skin for it, the Martial Manticore. And so, I got this one for playing this season, and next season there's going to be a whole different set of skins that I can unlock. So if I keep consistently paying for these season passes, I can, whether I'm using real money or whether I'm just using time in the game to earn the in-game currency. Either way, I can, get these little bits of bragging rights that I can show off to other players. So once I had actually bought the season pass, though, the other thing that I've been saying for a while is that I do intend to actually spend money on this game because these folks have made a game that has entertained me solidly for weeks. This has been the main game that I've been playing. This and Vigor have been the main games that I've been playing lately, and so I really wanted to make sure that I showed them my appreciation. And coincidentally, today they happened to put on sale in the shop this character skin that has got my same hairdo. And so, I couldn't help myself. I had to go and grab it. So since I had just unlocked the Fortuna Pass and I had sort of finished the experiment that I wanted to run, I went and I kicked in a little bit of money and grabbed this character. It actually isn't a little bit of money. This character basically cost almost as much as an entire game, but since that's what I was really doing, I wasn't really buying the skin. I was paying for the game. I felt like it was probably fine. And especially, how often do you run into a character who has got beautiful hair like this. So anyway, yeah. So it was interesting though checking out the way that you see the special offer here that I spent. I spent 3,800 Aurum, and so in order to have that much Aurum available, I had to buy the 5,000 Aurum pack. The thing that's interesting about hard currency in these games is that they really try to avoid giving you an easy math problem that you can do to figure out how much money things cost. You'll notice that the 5,000 Aurum pack, it has you buying 4,000 Aurum plus 1,000 free Aurum for $50. So if you could just say, oh, $50 for a 5,000 pack, that means it's 1 penny per Aurum. Except that the exchange rate is different for this pack, and it's different for this pack, and it's different for this pack. So it's hard, depending on, which pack you buy or which packs you buy, the amount of real money you're giving in order to earn this hard currency is actually kind of different. And I think folks do that on purpose because I think people feel more free to spend their money if they don't really know how much it's worth. If you know exactly how much money you're spending, it's a little bit tougher to sort of like justify to yourself, like, do I really want to spend this much money on that? But if it's just sort of, video game money and you can't really connect it very easily to your real world currency, it's a little bit easier to be a little bit more, spendthrifty with it. But I do have to say that I respect the way that they've approached monetization in this game because, I did end up spending money because I wanted to, but I never felt like I had to. Like, I did it because I wanted these folks to get some, monetary support from me because they've entertained me so much. But that was just a choice that I made. I didn't have to do that, in part because, even before I was spending money in the game, I actually was providing value to this game. The reason why games like the Cycle Frontier offer themselves for free. There's a lot of different reasons to choose one monetization system over another, but one of the reasons that a game like this would offer it is because players are entertainment for each other. It's not just that they are providing content for me, I am being entertained by it, and so I'm paying for the entertainment. Players in this game, the way that this game works, if you're new to this game, is that multiple players drop down onto a planet at the same time, and they're all trying to gather resources at the same time, but they can kill each other and take each other's resources. And so one of the more efficient ways, if you're good at the combat in this game, which I am not, one of the most efficient ways to get a lot of stuff is to kill other players and take the stuff that they've gathered. And so because, either as a really good fighter who's out there just looking for targets to kill, or as a scared little bunny rabbit like me who does not want to get into a fight because he's going to lose every single one that he gets into, either way, a huge part of the experience is determined by the fact that there are other players in the game. And because, games like this, in order for them to perform well, you have to have a server that's in your region. You have to be playing, at the same time as other people. It's not enough to just get a few people playing the game, just enough to fill one server. You have to get a pretty large number of active users in order to have any time of day in any region that anyone plays the game to give them enough people that they can play with. And so, one of the reasons why they offer the game for free is so that free players like me, or at least like I was for a while, will come in there and be entertainment for other players. And so we're a part of the entertainment, and that means that it's actually worth it to them to offer the game to us for free so that we'll be there on the servers. And then the players who are really committed to the game, who for whatever reason, either because they just really like to show off their hairdo in a game, or whatever, whatever reason somebody has for wanting to support the game. Maybe I think a lot of the time the reason why somebody wants to support a game like this is just because they become a fan of it, and they start making this game sort of a part of their identity and their lifestyle, and people like to spend money on things that sort of show off who they are to other people. And so it's like the reason why people collect Funko Pops, for instance, is because it's not just because the Funko Pop itself might be valuable or attractive. You can argue whether any of them are attractive, but people like to have a shelf in their house that says, these are the things that I'm into. Isn't that cool? And so I think that one of the reasons why players like to buy cosmetics in games like this is because they like to show other players in this game, hey, I'm serious about this game. This is a game that I really love to play, and I'm going to show you that by showing that I've spent money on this game, and I've earned a bunch of stuff that demonstrates to you how much this game matters to me. And creating that sense of community, that sense of being involved in something that matters to you more than just a video game is honestly the best thing that somebody could do. I mean, people, when I worked in the mobile industry, people came up with a lot of formulas and ideas for how you could encourage people to spend money, and a lot of them were very mechanical. But really, I think the thing that makes the biggest difference is really believing in a game and incorporating it into your identity, believing in a community and incorporating it into, your sense of who you are. If you do that, you'll spend, whatever free money you happen to have, whatever, disposable income you have, investing in this thing that matters to you. And if you don't, if a game manages to convince you to spend money on it, a lot of the time you'll end up regretting the purchase. And so, so the thing that I love about the Cycle Frontier, well, there's many things that I love about it, but one of the things I love about it is the fact that it does feel like they really are trying to not just like trick you into spending money. They're giving you a lot of value if you never spend a cent on the game. Like I said, like if I hadn't just felt like I wanted to buy this particular character with the pink mohawk to sort of reward these developers for giving me something that I loved so much, if I hadn't decided to do that, that would still be fine. I would still be having a great time in the game. They don't make me spend money in order to enjoy their game. And so I have a lot of respect for that, I mean, they definitely need money in order to keep this game running. They got to pay for a bunch of servers, and so they have to come up with some kind of scheme that does result in people spending money on them. But I think that they've chosen some of the better strategies for doing it. The game does not feel very pay to win. A lot of the stuff that you can buy is cosmetic stuff that doesn't really make you win or lose in combat. It just makes you look fancy while you're doing it. And yeah, so anyway, I feel like I was getting a ton out of this game as a free player, to the point where I actually just honestly felt like I owed these people some money for making me for making me something that was so fun. So yeah, anyway, I just wanted to give you that update to let you know how that turned out, because I've been talking so much about my plans to sort of investigate what it's like to be a free player, and then what it's like to spend money in the game. That's the outcome. I get to look like this fancy person. So yeah, anyway, I guess that's it. The last video that I made about an extraction shooter was actually a video about Vigor, where I was talking about the fact that actually, I mean, a lot of the time that I spend playing these kinds of games now, I spend in Vigor rather in the Cycle Frontier, and it's an interesting sort of question for me. And if you want to go watch that video, I'll stick a link to it up there. Basically, but to summarize it, basically, the Cycle Frontier is a highly polished game, and they've really done a great job of setting up your resources so that you always go into a map knowing exactly what you're after. And it's usually something rare and special. And when you get it, you get really excited, and you really want to survive and get to your extraction. And when you do extract, it's this massive relief that you didn't get killed. But when you do get killed, you know exactly what you lost, and it matters, and you're like, ugh, and it sinks you down into this emotional low. And some of the best emotional highs and the worst emotional lows that I've experienced in video games recently have been with the Cycle Frontier. And so that's great. I mean, that's a really big achievement on the part of the Cycle Frontier, and I think that they should be really proud of themselves. The reason that I've been playing Vigor more often is because lately what I've really needed is not a bunch of emotional highs and emotional lows. What I've been needing is a way to relax after a hard day at work. And so the Cycle Frontier is not a relaxing game. I don't think I've ever relaxed while playing this game. Vigor is a little bit less intense, though. It's easier to sort of get through a map. If you're not ambitious, you can avoid contact with other players. And the resources that you're going after aren't all that rare. None of them are so incredibly special that you feel like you're just going to freak out if you get killed before you reach the exit. And so the emotional highs aren't as high, but the emotional lows aren't as low either. And it's a great sort of, even-tempered way to pass the time. So it's kind of fun for me to, I love that this genre is growing and that there's multiple different kinds of games that exist here, so that when I am feeling ambitious and excited and I want something that's going to really thrill me, I can play the Cycle Frontier. But when I want to just relax after a hard day at work, I can play Vigor. And both of them are entertaining, and both of them are great. So, so I've spent some money on this one. I'm still working on trying to earn enough hard currency in Vigor to buy their season pass. And so that's still an experiment for me. I'll probably do another video like this whenever it's time for me to spend money on Vigor. But anyway, for right now, there's your update. So if you are into this kind of game, or if you think you might be into this kind of game, I think I've just demonstrated that the Cycle Frontier is actually really fun, and you don't have to spend money in order to enjoy it. So if you like it, if you think that, from watching my videos or anybody else's videos, if you think that's the kind of game that you might like, you know what? I feel like I've demonstrated that it's worth the investment of time, at least, to check it out and see if you enjoy it. So with that, I guess I'll wrap this video up. There's a subscribe button and links to other videos. I'll stick that video about the differences between Vigor and the Psycho Frontier here. And I guess if I do another Psycho Frontier video, I'll stick it up there.